What's up, everybody? This is your boy D-Mac. I just wanted to come in and talk to you for a minute about what's going on with social media and all of these little cult followings, because that is what all of these people out here who are seeking to get followers and stuff like that, is creating a cult-like mentality. And you have a lot of these people out here who are the influencers or the cult leaders who take it to the extreme levels. We just recently had a story about a young lady who was a content provider, and she murdered her boyfriend. They say that she was really, animated person and very over the top about everything, and it ended in a bad way for her and the young man that she murdered. So I just want to talk a little bit about the culture that's being created or developed within social media that's causing people to have these complexes and these I'm bigger than everybody else because this many people pay attention to any type of situation. And so I wrote down a few things just concerning what areas are targeted by these cults and these cult leaders. And the main areas that they're going to target is behavior control. They're going to either get to you through, bringing up behaviors that you have no control over, things you've been struggling with in your life. And they'll make it seem like they have the answer to all of your problems in life. And then you have information control. Once they've gotten you in, then they're going to try to get you to turn away from anything else that you ascribe to. I like using that word ascribe. I don't even know what that should be, but they will get you to go away from whatever you've been learning, and their doctrine is all you need to know, and it's going to give you the key to life. So there's no need to look for any other information or to try to fact check the information that they're going to be feeding you. Then thought control. That's going to play right into the whole information control and behavioral control. All of these things are encompassing of each other, but they are separate entities that they're attacking you at. That's why I broke it down like this. And so the thought control, this comes into play when you have places like the Church of Scientology, who have this sessions that you go into, and if you get in trouble, then they'll have you in some type of chamber, not like a dungeon or nothing, but like a booth or something, and have you going through this thought control procedure to get your mind on the right track. That's what they say. This is what they tell the people, allegedly. And it's nothing more than brainwashing, seeing how far a person is going to allow you to control them and then exploiting that. Most of the time they'll be in those booths, and all of the stuff in there has absolutely nothing to do with their training or their teaching. It's to see how long will this person just abide by your rules and your instructions, and what lengths are they willing to go to do so. And then what type of, I don't want to say the word slave, but that's what it is. What type of slave you have. And then you have the emotional control. They're going to tap into your life. They're going to tap into your childhood. They're going to tap into anything that provokes some type of emotion in you, because they know once they get you in an emotional state, your level of rationality then goes. That's just how that works. And so when you get to that level, now they're able to give you suggestions, and suggestions in a moment of rationality is not a good combination. So these are the tactics that they use in order to gain a firm grip of control over the people that are under them. And this is tragic that people would fall to this, but everybody wants to be a part of something in these days and times. And so when I look at it, and you have groups like the Christian nationalists, which is a mixture of religious cult and political cults. You know, they've combined religion and politics, and now they're out here trying to use scripture to validate and to justify all of the evil, vindictive stuff that they're doing. They're trying to do it in the name of God, under the banner of Jesus Christ. It's crazy. It's the same as the back in the days when they were doing the crusades and stuff. Am I not lying? Ain't that the same thing they was doing back in the days of the crusades, the Knights Templar and all of these cats out there killing under the banner of Christianity? Well, nothing's changed. That spirit is still here. And so you have these people who are out here promising people evolutionary enlightenment, and they're going to be on the highest tier of evolution, and they're going to be at the top of society because they've got this knowledge that nobody else has. Nobody else has got this knowledge in the world. So now they're out here and they're going to continually fool people, and they're going to continually put them through those different areas that I just spoke of: the behavioral control, the information control, thought control, and emotional control. They're going to put them through that training in order to dumb them down to the point to where they're willing to accept anything, as long as it does not cause any ripples in this fabricated reality that you have helped them to create for themselves, so they'll feel better about life. Wow, that was a whole mouthful right there, but that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. So we have a moral duty to out this stuff, to call attention to it, to confront it at every turn, because if we don't, we're going to continue to see more and more people being led astray. You know, and that's a bad place for everybody. It affects everybody, because at some point, whenever they go out and they decide that killing the infidels or whoever they conceive to be their enemies, who are they going to attack? They're not going to come and attack militia groups. They're not going to come attack the military. They're not going to come and attack the police department. They're going to attack those innocent people who are out walking alone by themselves. They're going to attack those little girls who are out there at the mall by themselves. They're going to attack young teenage kids. Those are the people they're going to jump on and going to make an example. So we have to be ready at every turn to recognize and fight against these cults. I was talking to one of my nieces in North Carolina, and she works at a dentist's office, and she was telling me how a cult came in and tried to recruit her. And what they did, they had a couple of females came in, they made appointments, they came back for their appointments because they knew they were going to have to interact with her. And so doing so, interacting with her, they began to strike up conversation, and they started with each other, and then it brought her into the conversation and started just kind of probing for stuff. Now, had she not been the type of analytical person that she is, she probably wouldn't have caught on to what these ladies were trying to do. And so they were probing her, trying to see what her life was. And ultimately, you know, they asked her a whole lot of questions, a lot of personal questions, uncomfortable questions. And then she put up her boundary and made it professional. Okay, I'd like to be here to see you shortly. And then she went on to act like she had some other stuff to do so that she could get out of that situation. After the ladies left, the doctor informed her that, you know, these people are in a group, a cult, you could say, and, you know, they try to target single mothers, because single mothers are very vulnerable. Single mothers are looking for support and stability, and they will provide that, and that's what they use to lure single mothers into this cult. But then once you're in there, you go through all of these different training modules, the four that I just said to y'all. And next thing you know, you have another, not only do you have another cult member, but you have a child that's being raised up in this alternative ideology. And so we've seen interviews and we've seen shows where they've had children on who were survivors of cults and who were able to get out, and how they're trying to adjust to life in the world now. So we have to be mindful and watch out for these types of signs and symptoms around us, because there could be a cult within a 5-mile radius of you, and you would never know if you didn't pay attention, or if there wasn't something that just happened out of happenstance to cause you to take notice to what was really going on. So many times when a lot of these cults get busted, and when a lot of these children who are abducted get found in houses of these people, so many times the neighbors will say, I never heard anything. I never saw anything out of place. There was never no signs that anything like that was going on. They were always such a nice person. That's what we always hear. And they've mastered a technique and tactics to be able to move like that, and to be able to keep it quiet and bring less attention to themselves. And so that's why we have to be vigilant when it comes down to recognizing cultish behavior and people out recruiting. So you have groups like, I jotted down a few. Heaven's Gate was one. This is more recent cults that are established. The Church of Scientology, I spoke of them a little bit. You had Nexium. Yeah, I've heard of Nexium. A lot of people have heard of Nexium. Yeah, so there's just so many. The Taliban was always considered a cult. They were always, when the United States was helping them and funding them to get Russia out of Afghanistan, they weren't considered a cult then. But whenever they were not willing to allow the United States to colonize Afghanistan, then all of a sudden they became terrorists. They became cults. They became a cult. And fast forward to now, you see that cult is running that country. So they're no longer a cult. They're a government now. What caused that change? What specific thing happened to make them go from terrorist and cult to now government of Afghanistan? It's crazy. There's a play on words. There's all of this double talk and stuff like that. So I just chill to myself. I'm not part of any organizations, nor will I attach myself to any organizations. Now, I'll say that there is like a few groups that are doing positive things that I will team up with for an event, or to go out and do something in the community to actually bring about some change and make something happen. I'm willing to do that. But as far as attaching my name to a group or organization, nah, I'm cool on that, bro. You keep that. And I just do my thing, man. I'm willing to help anybody who's trying to build and trying to grow. That's just where I keep that. But as far as being part of a organized group or religion or anything like that, I'm cool on that. Now, I do partner up with ministries. Yes, I absolutely do. I partner up with Muslims. I partner up with anybody who has in mind to do great things. Shout out to my Moorish brothers. I have a bunch of homeboys in North Carolina, actually. So yeah, I just said all that to say be on the lookout, because these cults are really out here recruiting big time. They not playing, and they are not going to be singing Kumbaya sitting by a fire. They really have some destructive things in mind. They really have some crazy stuff planned, and if we do not take action and take notice, then we may just fall victim to some of these groups that we let slip through the cracks. That's all I wanted to say on here. This is your boy D-Mac, man. Y'all know what I say. Sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.